Well, hello YouTube, it's me, Fortmaster, and welcome back to another Jontron reaction. And I'm very happy that this is a Jontron video because we haven't had them in a while, and you know that when a Jontron video comes out, more will be just around the corner. Oh, wonderful. So yeah, this is another one of those videos where the title has me just honestly thinking, what? Honestly? How to get revenge. Yeah, that's not disconcerting in the slightest. Ugh. So yeah, I mean, as I've said many times before, the original video will be linked in the description if you haven't seen it yet for some reason. Corner video will lead to my Let's Play of the day, and with all that out of the way, let's get this thing started then, shall we?
Oh yeah, I was just about to... Whoa, Nelly, what is that?
A tank?
You can't park that thing here. But you know where you can park that thing?
No.
World of Tanks, which is...
Okay, so this is sponsorship, but that's I know that's the thing. It's quite obviously a like remote control one, which actually, if you'll give me a second. Ow. Remote control Sherman. So haven't played with it in a while. Don't know if the batteries are still any good. Probably check that out sometime.
here. But you know where you can park that thing?
No.
World of Tanks, which is incidentally the amazing sponsor of today's video. This ain't just any old game of pew-pew, my friends. This is a game of pew-pew in giant hunks of historically accurate metal. Oh yeah, we're talking about the granddaddy of strategic tank warfare. Dive headfirst into the fray and find yourself upon a fleet of dazzlingly authentic-to-life war machines. Would you look at these absolute threads on treads? And guess what? You, yes you, can command your battalion of steel behemoths for the low, low price of absolutely nothing. New recruit? Use the code COMBAT when you sign up and unlock the Vault of Wonders. We're talking the Cromwell Beat Tank, a hefty stash of 250,000 credits, 7 glorious days of premium access, and not one, not two, but 3 rental tanks. I cannot believe what I'm hearing. Are you hearing this? With over 800 tanks to choose from, you'll find a playstyle that suits your fancy, and then some. Commandeer light, medium, and heavy tanks. Or you could just become a sneaky little destroyer. Sneaky little stupid guy, stupid baby tank, just step on him. You could be him. So click that link at the top of the description, and remember, the combat code is exclusively for you fresh-faced privates out there. So let's show them what new blood can do, while it's, you know, still inside your body, preferably. And now.
You know, the worst part is I see all of the, I haven't played World of Tanks in a while, but the worst part of watching all of these sponsorships whenever they come around is just the fact that like they're always for new players or for new accounts. I can't get any of them. I don't know. Actually, that's the thing, like I had a World of Tanks account for probably a good 2 or 3 years before I even played the game for the first time, purely because at the time our internet was so bad, I couldn't actually install the game quick enough before my time on the computer would be finished.
Now, our feature Halloween-themed presentation. Sort of.
Yeah, sort of.
Trick or treat! They say hell hath no fury like a woman scorned, and normally I would have said that was like an oversimplification, overgeneralization, but then I saw this. Oh.
Oh no.
Forgot to plug it in, damn it. Come on. Then I saw this. How to Get Revenge starring Linda Blair.
You know, there are times that I wonder, why does it take so long for Jontron to put out, like, new videos? But then you see this, where he builds, like, these entire sets with, like, built-in sconces and rotating platforms. Granted, I'm fairly certain that you know, that little platform is powered by somebody underneath it, like, turning like a wooden dowel or something. But the very fact that he built the set with that kind of functionality in it, I mean, it's nuts, isn't it?
That's right, those morals are going from blood red to blood gray. And yes, it is the very same Linda Blair who cemented her legacy as a legendary scream queen after her performance as Regan O'Neill, the possessed girl from The Exorcist. You may also remember her from Fox Family's paranormal reality series, The Scariest Places on Earth. You know, the one with the really weird voice?
Pasquale senses an angry spirit who was denied proper burial.
Yeah, I'm not really sure what that was all about.
Okay, wait a second. So this How to Get Revenge, is this a movie or is it like one of those like straight to, I guess in this case, tape like documentary or something? What is this? I've never heard of this before.
Anyways, well, in 1989, she starred in what IMDb calls a dark and humorous take on how to get revenge on those that have wronged you. Featuring guy whose face is, he doesn't even want to be associated with this.
And so this is a show, not like a movie or something.
We have
okay.
AI face unblurring technology. You can't hide. Okay, never mind. I actually see why that might have been that way. That actually checks out. Put that back the way it was. What, you don't think this is scary enough for Halloween? Then I guess you must not fear pieces of media fraught with opportunities for litigious action. Oh, look at you, you're so brave. This should be a pretty wild ride. So let's see how to get revenge.
I swear, there's something about like 90s like infomercial style music that's just like, maybe it's just like the quality of it coming off the tape or something, but there's just something about it where you can instantly tell where it's from and what it's about to do.
I was just reading a few pages from a fascinating book. It is literally filled with countless pieces of wisdom. One in particular deserves quoting. It reads, "Vengeance is mine." Now that's a powerful quote. And from what book am I reading? The Bible.
Oh, hey, are we playing Use the Bible to justify what I want to do right now?
Oh, God.
I freaking love this game. Leviticus 27:4. The price of a woman between 20 and 60 years of age shall be 30 shekels. Oh, come on, I don't buy that. There's got to be some depreciation along the way.
Well, how do you, that is the depreciation. It gets higher if you're before that. Oh God, that's a horrible thing to say. I'm sorry.
Now let me ask you a personal question. Has someone ever made you so angry, so upset, that you considered some form of retribution? Some form of revenge?
Me? Oh, come on. That's not in my constitution. Okay, fine, you caught me. But you would have done the same in my shoes. That damn dog stole my NBA career. Damn you, Airbud!
Let's face it.
Actually, wait, now I'm curious. I gotta look something up. 1997. I mean, NBA career at the age of 7? Okay. Must have been a very good player as a child. When I played basketball when I was a little kid, yeah, I was not.
Face it, revenge can be sweet, especially when it's against someone who really deserves it.
It can also be savory, but if it's bitter, then you gotta make sure to throw it out.
Ooh, hello. That seems to be coming a little too naturally to her. You know, maybe this was her idea after all. She didn't need to be coerced. This is, she's getting enjoyment from this. So yeah, this whole thing appears to just be an actual guide on how to get revenge on people you don't like. And that wouldn't be like too weird if it weren't for the fact that a very famous person was headlining it. I don't really understand what they were thinking when they conceived of this. How
what even is
supposed
this
to be
thing?
received by the general public? Did anyone watch this and think it was normal or useful? I mean, you can already tell it's got this kind of weird dark undertone to it, like,
Oh, shh, don't tell my wife. Look, let me tell you my favorite revenge story.
Jesus Christ.
you assume they're joking,
What is
but
going
like,
on
at the
in
same
this?
time, it doesn't really feel like it. Seriously, who was the intended audience for this? It must have been really awkward to rent this from Blockbuster, you know? This isn't for like research or anything. I'm just like a huge fan of Linda Blair. I jack off to this, okay? I only jack off to this. Why are you looking at me like I belong on some kind of FBI watch list? Let's look at your rental history. National Geographic Safari Edition? I guess we got a furry here, everybody.
Now, when I talk about revenge, I'm not talking about bodily injury to anybody. I mean, that is definitely not our purpose here.
Yeah,
No,
definitely
no,
not.
of course
Definitely not.
And
No.
on behalf of our legal team, we thank you for clarifying, Linda. Anyways,
Well, that reminds me.
For legal reasons, that's a joke.
check out how the belt on this chainsaw's perfect for going through this hedge in the shape of my sister who cut me out of my dad's will. Oh my gosh, look at that perfectly clean cut, not related to anything in this material existence. So anyways,
Right.
now the thing starts in
Right.
earnest, and she starts off by showing us this guy who apparently specializes in messing with people's houses or something, but not before she gives us this important message.
Fasten your seatbelts.
Yeah, I've lived long enough to know that's a serious threat. Thanks for the heads up.
I don't have to do that because there's like several layers of separation between me and her. Jontron will take the brunt of the force if anything actually happens here.
Meet private investigator Kyle Pappenfuss. He's about to take us on a tour of what one can do to a Mark's home.
I'm sorry, what was his last name?
Investigator Kyle Pappenfuss.
Pappenfuss? Okay, I'm curious again. Where is that even from? Oh, German. Thinking about it, yeah, that does make sense. Okay. Yeah, that's not a name you hear very often.
He's about to take us on a tour of what one can do to a Mark's home.
There's so much about this, I don't even
Why
know
is he
where to
standing
begin.
like
Do
that?
I talk about how he's Pappenfuss? Do I talk about his bold stance he's got there? Do I talk about the fact that she just referred to the victim of the crime she's about to encourage as
a mark?
Fucking mark? Is that what I talk about? Let's hear old Pappenfuss out, huh? He might have something good to say. Let's climb right up into that Pappenfussy, swirl around and see what's in it.
No.
All right. First things first. The mailbox. Easy pickings. Everybody has a mailbox. And
Wait, didn't she say this guy was like a private investigator or something? Why does he seem like the most untrustworthy used car salesman on the planet?
everybody reaches for their mail.
In the history of the world, nothing good has ever followed that sentence.
Who says you can't put more than mail in there, huh?
Oh my God.
Oh no.
Man, this guy, I don't know, he's got like an
Oh,
X factor.
no.
Like, you know, he says it how it is. Hold on a second. Like, you know when someone just like speaks to you on that extra level, you just want to write it down so you can format it later into like a 124-page about manifesto? Like, that's what this guy's doing for me. This is a knowledgeable guy. You can learn something from this guy.
Think of something nasty you wouldn't want in there. Get the picture?
He says that's a joke.
So at this point, she moves on from the last guy and she goes to this like private investigator who I guess people would go to if they wanted to get revenge on someone. I don't know, was this a real thing back then? I thought this was just a thing that only happened in like Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
Mr. Vickers, could you give us an example of what could be done to a former friend or lover?
Few examples, huh?
Oh, sorry, you caught me off guard there. I didn't notice the film crew laying undersea cables through my kitchen and dining room for the last 7 hours. Anyways, now for my candid statement that may or may not land me in a class action civil suit. Look at my hat. Look at my hat. Look at my hat here. I have the hat. I have a hat. I'm just saying that because he has a hat there.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, let's talk about friends. Such as my client, Mr. Harold Jerriman over here.
Ah, yes, the stereotypical pedophile. No, I mean, obviously that's a horrible thing to say about somebody just from their looks. But I mean, that is literally, if you were to go to like a cartoonist or something and say, draw me a stereotypical pedophile, bowl cut, huge sunglasses, and really thick mustache are like, for some reason, like the automatic definers. Like, why is that?
Harold, why don't you pick it up from here?
Well, the incident took place on Thursday afternoon during my lunch break.
So just to bring you up to speed on the lore behind this part, this guy, he's got a complaint that he got bullied out of a seat at a Chinese restaurant because of, God knows, I don't know. Do you see anything?
Improper
I don't see anything.
chopstick
See
use?
no evil, hear no evil. I might be speaking the evil.
I was so humiliated. This kind of thing happened to me many times in the past, and I wanted to get even with that man. I looked upon him as being all the people who have hurt me rolled into one, and that's when I contacted Mr. Vickers.
See, this is where it actually gets dark and scary, okay? The rest was jokes. This is where the goosebumps start to go up my arm. You do not want to be the last guy in the line to piss this guy off.
I'm still trying to figure out why this was made. Who made it? And who specifically would like buy or rent this? I mean, this is very much like in a cartoon or like a really poorly written show where like a character has a problem or something, and then there's like a book or a VHS type on the shelf that says how to do yada yada yada, whatever they needed help with.
That's the vibe I'm picking up from this.
Well, when Harold first came to me, he didn't know what to do. All he had was the punk's license number, but that was enough for me. I went down to the Department of Motor Vehicles, and I filled out a form.
Okay, I'm sorry, but I just gotta stop. I gotta ask. Is the guy on the right small or is the guy on the left big? Because I can't tell which one is which because they both kind of look like they're normal sized relatively, but
as soon as you stick them together,
I can't tell.
Yeah, I didn't notice that
Harold
more.
was adamant about getting even with him himself, so we laid out a battle plan. Harold, you take over, buddy.
With pleasure. I planted a toy handgun under the truck's seat. Then I went to a telephone and phoned the police and stated anonymously that I had seen where the robber lived. To make a long story short, the police arrived just as the man was getting into his truck.
Yeah, this right here is when he knew he fucked up for real, okay? He's not laughing anymore. He was like, okay, I was playing it up for the camera. What's going on with you? I think this guy's for real. Call somebody. I don't want to be near him anymore. Yeah, so Big Boss Daddy over here is just talking about how he framed an innocent person by planting a gun on them in the dark of night, and that's just fine. See, that's what I'm saying about this. I've dug up as much as I could on the internet about this film, and there's just not that much information on the thing itself or the people involved in it. Like, these people don't really seem like they're acting. The whole time they're sort of just playing it off like it's an act, but I don't know if I buy it. There's even a part later that's just a guy showing you how to sabotage a car. Isn't there some kind of federal clause prohibiting this sort of thing?
Yeah, you'd think so.
The next thing here we'll deal with is cooling system. The idea is to put substances in there that expand with water. Baking flour, pancake batter, or even paper mache.
Really, the only limit is your imagination. As long as it stalls their engine when they're already doing 90 down the interstate, I'll co-sign that.
Now, if your Mark is a member of the minority, you might turn him over to the Immigration Service.
Oh my God! What was it? I'm okay. Is everyone okay?
I was thinking it before, but that whole, like, for legal reasons, that's a joke bit I thought of before. I feel like that's just going to be a running thing in this entire video where it's just going to be constantly popping up or something. And that scares me.
Thank God she told me to put this seatbelt on earlier. To be honest, if I knew that was coming, I probably would have installed like a lap bar or something. There we go, that's perfect.
Okay, here we
I'll
go.
be needing this to get through the rest of the video at this rate. Jesus!
I just noticed that thing was made of PVC pipe. Okay, nice.
Christ, he's telling people to falsely report people to the immigration services? How was this made? Seriously, how was this ever acceptable? That this could not have flown back then, even then.
Okay, so, thinking about it, the one way I can see this having been made was if it was like a massive tax write-off for like a production company or something, or maybe the mob or something. Just something that was made so that they could write it off in their taxes, and then maybe like at some time later they published it to make some money on the side. Though how they didn't end up in prison just for the act of it being published, I don't know.
Then, right?
This is going to cause them hours and hours of endless paperwork trying to prove he's a citizen of this country.
And better yet, they might just deport him. And that'll teach you to think twice about stealing my parking spot at Trader Joe's again, huh, you wily bastard?
Oh my
So
God.
if this wasn't already weird enough, at this point she brings on an actual detective from the police force. If you recall from earlier, that one guy had his face completely blurred as well, so it lends credence to the fact that these are real people who had stature in their respective institutions and didn't want their identities released.
And to give us a few
But now
examples,
they don't
is
have his
Detective
face
J.M. I'd like to play a
blurred.
little game with you, if that's all right. I'll give you a situation.
Did I say that's all right? If I recall, I just stared at you menacingly. Do I look like I have time to play backgammon, sweetie? I am a working professional. Okay, one quick game of Elephant on the Elephant, but then we get back to business. Oh, the butterflies tickle my face on the way up and down.
Oh my
And then I'd
God.
like you to respond with a method of male revenge that you would recommend.
Okay, shoot.
Let's say the Mark is a family man.
No, I mean like shoot him, literally. Just use a gun. What are you mailing him something for? What is it, his birthday? Just off him. Use a pistol like this. Like that, just like this. Like that. Right here, like this.
Let's say the
Oh my
Mark is a
God.
family man. You know, a wife, 2 kids, a dog. What can you do to disrupt the entire family as opposed to just the Mark?
Yeah, you know, just like it says in this old book I used to spearhead this whole operation. The son should not suffer the sins of the father. I didn't see that.
Yeah. You know, that's the whole thing. I mean, going with the Bible specifically, I know there are plenty of things in the Bible that people have used just to justify all sorts of horrible acts. But like, I swear, 9 times out of 10, you'll have another statement in the Bible itself that counteracts or contradicts that previous horrible statement. Again, it's a book that was written not only several hundred years after Jesus died, but was also, if you include the Old Testament, written over a period of several thousand years.
Put them on offensive mailing lists. Pornographic mailing lists such as pornographic magazines, pornographic merchandise. Put them on the Communist Party's mailing list. There are hundreds of mailing lists you can put them on.
Okay, I thought this thing was made in like the 80s or 90s. What's this like communist mailing list? Like what it's like, was this made during like the 60s or 70s? Was Reagan in the White House?
Did they think this through at all? In this part, he's literally advocating to send pornography to where like minors could see or access it. Did anyone making this have even the slightest semblance of a moral compass? Just send them smut, or I don't know, put some Karl Marx in front of them. That'll confuse the shit out of them. Their grades will go down or something. That guy don't make no sense.
By the way, there are dozens upon dozens of homosexual and bisexual magazines available today.
Son of a bitch, the last part wasn't enough!
I found if you mail these to the Mark's place of work, you can start rumors or quickly get them fired.
Fascinating. Well, Detective, thank you very much for your suggestions.
I put my stamp of approval on this. I won't regret this at all. Thanks for watching, everyone. But before I leave you for good this Halloween season, I want to put to use some of those interesting skills I learned throughout the course of today's video.
Okay, so I'm just saying, if this was made today, you know swatting would be somewhere in there.
Excuse me. Hello?
Is your refrigerator running?
Yes.
Did you, it's not a joke. I planted a bomb in your bathtub.
Oh my gosh. Oh, well, thank you for calling.
No problem.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm sorry. I have to go. I hope you had fun. Bye.
What was that ending?
I'm just kidding. I wouldn't do that. Plus, you said not to use violence in your thing. So I don't know why you think I'd do that. Hello? Am I doing the show now? Am I the host? Hi, Mom. I know this probably isn't like what you expected from me. I know you wanted me to go to like medical school, but I don't know. I just feel like the doctor industry, it's not up and coming anymore the same way the straight to VHS industry is. No, it's not a phase. Stop calling it that.
Okay. How seemingly very illegal. Okay. Again, just so many questions. Was this thing made as like a tax write-off that was never actually supposed to be published or something? Because as he said, like if it's so hard to find any info about it, I'm having trouble just wrapping my head around the fact that something like this was not only existed but was like published and distributed. I am just so confused. Oh yeah, so yeah, that's gonna be it for now. So of course, original video is linked in the description if you haven't seen it for some reason. Corner video will lead to my Let's Play of the day. And with all that out of the way, I hope you guys liked. If you did, leave a like, subscribe if you have not. And, you know, there's always other options other than revenge. Goodbye.